Hey, welcome to this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. This is a beer I haven't had in such a long time that I've never actually checked into it on Untappd. And I've been on Untappd since pretty much day one. So this is the famous or infamous Double Bastard Ale. Got the red side and the black side. Doesn't say anything about on a can, although if you look close it says 10.5 ABV. And it's made in either California or Virginia, and it was canned on April 29th, so just a little over 2 months old. So I pour it into the glass. I was going to use the IPA glass, but I like to use this one for 12-ounce glasses. And I would say that is a beautiful red. Well, actually, it looks kind of ugly and murky, but like once it settles, it clears really well. Has like almost like a Cabernet or cranberry juice kind of color. It's clear. It's just really dark. And you get a nice big frothy, foamy. I wouldn't even call that like, well, probably like ivory colored. It's not quite white, but it's not on the tan side either. Okay, so this one is very. I was gonna say very smelly, very flowery, floral. Has a sweet smell to it. Very sweet. Probably from like just like all the malt that they use in there to get that 10.5. I don't think they're using sugar. Could be. I don't know. There's a certain je ne sais quoi character to like any kind of like red, especially super hoppy red beers, not like Irish reds. It's just like this like kind of caramel kind of thing. I mean, I definitely would call it citrusy. Yeah. I mean, it's West Coast. And I'm sure they're using Chinook hops in here, which is it's like a high alpha acid hop, and that usually is like really resiny. But yeah, I would say this is, and it's surprisingly like not super aromatic. Usually, this is the kind of beer where you can smell it from an arm's length away, you know. But this one, I really think get my nose in there. I also like the alcohol in this one is like real clean. This doesn't smell like a strong beer. Like if somebody just said, "Smell this," you know how strong you think it is. I don't know, 6-7%, but yeah, 10.5. All right, so I haven't had this in a long time. Let's see what I'm missing. Cheers. Wow. That is a almost equally malt and hop bomb. I mean, I would say like the first thing that hits me obviously is like the maltiness. I mean, I mentioned caramel on the nose. I will say it does taste very caramelly. Yeah, it's fairly sweet. Kind of like in the background, there's like an orange citrus. I would probably say maybe grapefruit, but I think it's a little bit more orange than anything. And then kind of as it crests, because it's big like resiny, like pine sap resin, hoppy flavor and like an intense bitterness. Untappd says this is 100 IBUs. I think they keep it a secret, but that's probably just a guess. But yeah, I remember Arrogant Bastard was like one of the first beers, and probably Ruination, where the IBUs was in triple digits, and people thought that was like insane. Yeah, it's almost like a scorched caramel, or yeah, like if you could scorch caramel or like scorched sugar, or like on a creme brulee, where you actually scorch the sugar, like the way that tastes. I don't know if that's not the same thing as Maillard. Maillard is like when you take bread and toast it, or take malt and kiln it. It's not quite the same thing with like a sugary sensation, but I mean like that's the flavor that I'm getting at here. So it's interesting that a beer can be like so sweet and like so ridiculously bitter at the same time. Yeah, really bitter. Leaves a really resiny, kind of sticky aftertaste. By the way, this is a 10.5 ABV. You would never know. Like this has like almost no alcohol presence whatsoever. Like usually, high alcohol beer like this, like that alcohol is going to come in and like dry out the malty sweetness. And on this beer, the hops are doing all that. So like I'm getting like no alcohol taste or like warmth on this one. And I did let this sit out for a little while, and usually it only takes like 5, maybe 10 minutes tops before like you can actually, that alcohol like really stands out. But like, I've said it many times, especially in the last few years, like these the fermentation control quality in the last few years has been really, really amazing. Yeah, I just can't get over the fact how bitter it is. I mean, it's just like such the opposite of like even like a triple hazy IPA. It doesn't come close to the bitterness on this one. Yeah, this is just like an old school just hop showcase. So I mean, it's, you know, kind of like orange citrus, but then, you know, the Chinook, just pure resin. By the way, and I think that actually kind of like thickens the mouthfeel. I forgot to mention that. This has, for like a hoppy beer, you don't really tend to think of like beers like this as being like, you know, super thick and chewy. But this is, I would say, like the actual viscosity of it, this is probably full-bodied, medium full at least. Carbonation, I'd probably put about moderate. I wouldn't say it's like a creamy texture, but it's certainly smooth. Yeah, like when I think creamy, I think like oatmeal stout or like hazy or something like that. And it's funny, they actually had the vegan friendly thing on the can here, so you know there's no lactose in it. But yeah, like a thick, soft, smooth body, but also still pretty carbonated, well carbonated. Love that caramel taste. It's interesting because like this is like an impressive brewing feat, and you know, like I like this one, but it's like I'm not in love with it. It's kind of like I don't know, the best comparison I can think of is like, you know, like when you watch like some highly acclaimed, you know, critical darling movie that's like, you know, 3 hours long and it's like really boring, but you're like, okay, yeah, I get why that won all the awards. That's kind of how I think about this one. It's like, yeah, this is really good, but you know, this would not be like a go-to beer for me. Like this is, I don't know if I want to say a challenge to drink. It's just like it's not an easy drinker, let's say. This is, I mean, which is kind of the whole point of like the original Arrogant Bastard. Like it said, like right on the back, this is a aggressive beer. You probably won't like it. And like this one is, you know, pretty much the same thing right there. I reviewed the regular Arrogant Bastard with 𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓀 𝓬𝓻𝓲 a few months ago, so check that out. I remember like, you know, being really impressed by how good it was after not having had it in such a long time and having the same reaction to the Double Bastard. I would like to do a side by side. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll do that for Tuesday Night Beer School for the American Strong Ale style. Anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, so for the Double Bastard, really impressed on this one. I'm going to go pretty high. I'm going to say 9.5. It's not a perfect beer. Like I said, like I think it's like a little too aggressive, but you know, I think it tastes really good. I'm really impressed by like the fermentation control and just all the ingredients synergy working together. And I think there's like a oaked version and barrel aged and all that. I would love to try that. So yeah, 9.5 for Double Bastard Ale. Check this one out if you've never had it, but it's not for lightweights. So I'm going super long. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for Whiskey Wednesday. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.